We're living the American dream. I'm Bob and I'm in dead up to my eyeballs.
Sharyn, this place has been chaotic. This is just nonsense.
We're not going to make any money on this house at all.
In real estate, there are buyers, sellers, agents, and inspectors.
What will people do to sell?
It's a high-stakes game, where if houses could talk, they'd have two words to say. Seven years ago, a 5-member family made a life-changing trip to Raleigh in search of the American dream.
So you remember when we first got here, how different it was.
House is different, the neighborhoods are different, the people's different, the language is different. They drive on the wrong side of the road.
Meet Bob and Margie. They still consider themselves new to the U.S.
For 2 years he worked on me and said, come on, we've got to go to the States, got to go to the States. And I said, no, I really like South Africa, I really want to stay here.
We miss a lot about South Africa. It's a beautiful place, but we just felt that our kids needed a better future.
They landed in North Carolina with their 3 teenagers. Bob's brother Vincent came to live with them years later. The move put their lives back to square one.
You sell everything. You come over with a little 20-foot container that has just your worldly possessions and not much else. Being foreigners, we had no credit rating, no nothing, and you really have to start again. And I felt like I was 20 years old.
The neighborhood is growing by the minute as subdivisions merge and form a community. Here, families find everything they need.
Main thing, of course, was the school, because, I mean, that was just a stone's throw away.
Great stores close by, the airport was close by, the highway was going to be close by, and we thought, wow, this has got everything that was important to us.
They found the perfect home here and bought it for $340,000 7 years ago. But now the house feels more like excess baggage.
We've gone from having 6 or 7 people in the house to having 2 of us.
The kids have left the house, and Vincent, who used to contribute to the home's $3,600 mortgage, just moved out and into his own place.
New place is nice, and it's like home, and that's what I look forward to.
Our entire income goes, the mortgage, the upkeep of the house, the college, the paying the kids. But some of it truly needs to go towards saving for us to retire.
We're living the American dream. I mean, I'm Bob and I'm in dead up to my eyeballs.
Bob and Margie are probably 2 of the nicest people you'll ever want to meet.
Sharyn's been a realtor for only 2 years, but she's built a good reputation in that time. She's not only Bob and Margie's agent, she's also a good friend.
She knows us. She knows what we want.
While we trust her with our future, this is a business deal because we really want her to do the best she can as a realtor. Hey, Sharyn.
This time, Sharyn tours the house with the keen eye of a realtor. She breezes in on the winds of change.
Coming into the dining room is you get kind of welcomed into the rest of the home, and we like the pillars, which stand for strength.
This is actually an area that we don't use that much.
Nevertheless, personal items collected during their travels around the world give the space a busy look.
I think a stager could come in and suggest maybe decluttering this area here.
Oh, let's go through to the kitchen. This is my favorite area. We love entertaining. This area has seen a number of good people standing around, having lots of fun, lots of good discussions.
You do realize it needs to be updated, don't you?
Really.
At one end of the house, these 2 computer programmers converted a sunroom into an office.
Needs decluttering, furniture removed.
Upstairs are 2 empty bedrooms the kids once used, and even Vincent's room is empty now that he's left the house. A 4th room serves as an entertainment center.
Our bedroom and our bathroom is really all we use upstairs.
This is a jacuzzi bath, believe it or not.
Get rid of the plants, get rid of the board. I'm so glad you're changing the carpeting.
Up in the attic, there's just a wee bit of stuff.
I've been designated the local storage unit.
The less in here, the better.
It's the back of the house that presents its ultimate selling challenge.
Road in the backyard. It's going to lower the price compared to other houses if you didn't have that road.
All right, should we go inside and talk about the listing?
Anything lower than 370 we would not be interested in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have done this before, but not in this country, right?
Not in this country,
I don't know
no.
if it's the same. It probably is similar. In this area, every square foot you want to count. I haven't measured your house yet, but according to the original builder, he said you are almost 3,300 square feet.
It's just under 3,200.
Based on market research, Sharyn is cautious when it comes to throwing numbers on the table.
I suggest starting at 450, 449.9.
We're kind of happy with that price because it's still more than we wanted to put on the market, but that's good.
I know we're friends, but business is business.
Absolutely.
Is 450 truly what you think it should be listed at?
To start.
Way beyond their expectations, Bob and Margie happily list the house at $449,900. More than $100,000 over what they paid 7 years ago.
This is exciting. This is all happening.
Embarking on yet another life-changing adventure. This time, Bob and Margie are all alone.
Well, that's the start.
The only thing that worries me a little bit is the road, but I'm going to do what we have to do to sell the house.
Coming up,
Our rooms are a lot bigger.
Bob does some math.
If we can increase the square footage, it's going to increase our price.
Wow, America looks just like it did on TV back in South Africa.
Bob and Margie and their 3 children left their beloved South Africa and moved to the U.S. 7 years ago.
It takes strength and certainly togetherness to do that sort of thing.
We thought that the children's education and there was to offer here was a lot better than what we had.
The kids have grown up and no longer live in the house.
I'm going to miss the place, but change is also good.
Bob's brother, Vincent, who lived with them for several years, just moved to his own place.
Congratulations!
I hate to see him go.
Well, you're going to be happy here. Okay, well, what do we do now? There's just the 2 of us in a large house.
To sell their house, they entrust their friend Sharyn, who lists it at $449,900.
Okay, so we need to talk about time frame as far as getting the renovations done.
What we're going to do this week is make some calls to paint contractors.
I'd like to recommend some people that I trust. Today I'm trying to gather as many estimates as possible. Carpeting, granite countertops, staging. And you want to make this house look as new as possible since it's competing with the new construction.
Oh, the dog likes this section. The gutters are all stopped up, and then look at the rotted wood in the corner.
While Sharyn tallies the costs outside, Margie works with the stager.
I'm open to anything.
Oh, good.
You may do anything, move anything, anywhere. I am not tied to anything.
Okay. We definitely want to separate the dining room with color because it's such a big wide open space.
I'm just scared of adding too much color at all.
Because that dining room is so open, it would really make sense.
But you're breaking up the space completely. That sounds
we talked
stupid
about this
to me.
Who all's having tea?
I'll have some tea too.
At the end of the day, Sharyn presents the total estimated cost for the renovations.
So it'll be 13,000.
Approximately. Well, not if Bob can do a lot of the stuff that's on
Oh,
this.
yeah, I can do it.
And strongly suggests hiring Mike to do all the work.
And is he good about being on time?
Yes.
Okay.
You pay 50% first and then 50% after you're done, and you have to be happy. But we need to move on this because we only have 2 weeks.
Later that day, Bob discovers some shocking figures.
The guys from the carpets came in and they started measuring up the rooms. Our rooms are a lot bigger. So the square footage of our house is not 3,300 square feet. It's a heck of a lot more. As the homeowner, I think it's our responsibility.
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
No. We need to get Sharyn to come in and measure the home properly.
If we can increase the square footage, it's going to increase our price.
Cheers, top of the morning. Today's going to be a long day.
Prepping the house brings the whole family together.
I really like coming home and like being with my family.
I'm hoping I find that pot of gold I lost.
With the stager out of the way, Margie picks the colors that she wants for the house.
I'd prefer that one. This is the last one I'm bringing down today. I need killing me. Sassy, sassy.
Sharyn shows up to measure the house. A not-so-happy Margie is waiting for her.
I see you have your tape.
See, I usually measure
Okay.
houses and rooms before I list them, but he insisted that they were so accurate that I didn't need to.
No, I don't think that was the case. I don't think he ever said it was accurate. We gave you the sheet and said this is what the builder gave us. If we measure and it's substantially bigger, let's rethink the listing price.
Sharyn discovers that the house is larger than they thought. With that in mind, she checks out the competition.
Well, here we have a house for sale right around the corner from Bob and Margie's house. They're asking $530,000. Been on the market for 2 months, and they're going to stay on the market for a while longer because they're a bit overpriced. Here's the second house that's for sale in our neighborhood. This has slightly more heated square footage upstairs. They started asking $565. It just got relisted at $529. I want you to show you the hard work of measuring and getting your square footage back up.
So 3416.
Yeah, which is great because it makes it seem...
Well, it's just under 3,500, Sharyn. That's what you got to tell them.
And Sharyn thinks that since the house is only about 100 square feet more than they thought, it doesn't warrant raising the listing price.
We're comfortable with that price, but knowing how much we've put into the house, $16,000.
$16,000, okay.
If this can go up another 10, I'd be happy.
Oh, I'd be happy too, but I was thinking of this price with all the upgrades, with all the maintenance.
With costs escalating and a firm listing price, Bob isn't feeling optimistic.
Find that the market is dropping. We're not going to make any money on this house at all.
Coming up,
It's not done yet.
renovations fire up emotions.
Now you know why I'm angry. This is just nonsense.
She hasn't seen you for so long. You've brought your kids up, and I hope I've done the best. Off you go, and now I'm going to downsize.
Originally from South Africa and now empty nesters in the U.S., Bob and Margie are getting their home ready for sale.
So we're trying to modernize the house to make it look a little bit more like newer construction.
At $449 is there room for negotiation? Barely, about $1.
With renovations close to the $20,000 mark, Bob tries to save some money.
All right, what do we have to do?
Take the kitchen counters off.
Who is it?
Do you know how much they charge you to do this? Over $200. Okay, let's go. There she goes. Woohoo!
Unfortunately, the contractors don't find Bob's initiative very helpful at all.
Cabinets are very unlevel. In order to put a granite top on, it has to be perfectly level.
He took the cabinets out great, but if we would have took them out, their cabinets would have been ready. They weren't ready because we had to level everything. The cabinets totally off level. We had to add pieces of wood that he tore out. Not happening.
A day before showings, Sharyn needs to take some pictures of the house to post on the MLS site. What she encounters isn't quite what she expected.
It's not done yet. It doesn't look good. I'm taking a picture anyway.
The contractor's work is taking longer than planned, and Margie's stress level reaches a new high.
Sharyn, this place has been chaotic. You have no idea. I've been walking around cleaning up paint spots all the time. Mike's coming at 8 tomorrow morning for inspection. I'm not paying him a cent.
Well, I don't like homeowners to interfere with our work we got to do because it just makes our life harder when it comes to doing the finished product.
And things keep getting worse.
Leant a ladder up against the gutter and squashed it in.
Now you know why I'm angry. This is just nonsense.
Well, I feel a little bad because I recommended Mike to them.
It's done.
In the end, with extra men working overtime, Michael is able to save face and get the job done just in the nick of time.
Painters are leaving at 12:15. And the first showing is at 12:30. It is a complete transformation.
The entire house was painted inside and out. The carpets on the second floor were replaced, while every room was decluttered and staged. Of all the rooms, the kitchen went through the biggest transformation. The countertops are now granite with a tile backsplash, and the harsh fluorescent light was replaced with pot lights and a new hanging fixture. By removing trees on one side of the house, more light brightens up the downstairs.
Now it's really ready for sale.
First day on the market, and the buyers are showing up.
Does it back up to the road? It's too close. It's not even worth seeing the house.
The road in the back puts off these visitors right away, but at least the second visit looks promising.
I love the fact that it's open. I love it.
We really like the house. It meets our needs.
But these buyers have a contingency on selling their own home first, before taking on Bob and Margie's.
Oh no, I said Sharyn. Day one, and he said, and I want a good deal, which means they're not going to offer you full price on the first day. I was like, this isn't working out. This morning I had a brainstorm.
Taking advantage of 2 open houses in the neighborhood, Sharyn stages an impromptu one of her own.
I guess I didn't expect to do this, but I'm ready.
The foot traffic is promising, but serious buyers are hard to find.
The house looks great.
So will you consider purchasing this house?
And once I get the wife's approval.
And where is your wife?
My wife went to Europe.
Now this call says we may be having an offer coming in.
After just 4 days on the market, Bob and Margie welcome their first offer.
First, I thought the offer was around $420,000. They're asking for $13,000 in closing costs. The $420,000 minus the $13,000 makes it really a $407,000 offer. I know how my sellers are going to feel with this offer, should they even bother counter-offering. And she says, please encourage them to counter-offer. I'm thinking more in the $440,000s.
Bob and Margie agree to counter at $447,500, but with no closing costs.
Her response was,
I'm not Santa Claus. I'm not giving things away.
I'm very confident that we're going to get more offers at
I
the price that we want.
Coming up,
So I guess you want to know what the offer is.
as the action heats up, Margie buckles under pressure.
It's just a chain.
After a couple of weeks of hard work
I am exhausted.
and frustration,
Take the carpet, you have to take the base.
This is nonsense.
renovations on the house pay off with a good number of showings, but only one lowball offer of $407,000.
I have a counter offer for you. Purchase price $447,500 with no closing costs. Having an offer sometimes, it's like a taste of blood in a way, and then they get hungry and then they really want to settle.
24 hours later, in the middle of a workday, Sharyn comes to them with an answer to the counteroffer.
We got him in the 440s.
You're joking!
No, I'm not kidding.
You see, the thing is, the guy's a serious buyer, and that's what I've been saying all along.
Is it Sharyn?
They're just one phone call from closing the deal.
He's withdrawing the offer?
Oh, I don't believe it.
All right.
How's the noise back here?
Sharyn has to start all over again. 2 more showings are scheduled for this afternoon.
You know, the road dead ends, and you really don't hear it that much.
The road in the back scares away another buyer.
This one,
This family is visiting the house for a second time, bringing some hope to this unfortunate day.
I got a call from the agent saying that an offer was coming. I'm expecting a very good offer because she's under the impression that we're in negotiations, and we were. It suddenly got withdrawn unexpectedly. There it is. Okay, so I guess you want to know what the offer is. So we can discuss it. What they're offering is $446,000.
It's an interestingly high offer to start off with.
Well, because they felt they were competing, which they were at the time that I told her we were.
It's a drop of $4,000 off the asking price. All seems to be good for Bob and Margie, until Sharyn announces one of the buyer's conditions.
They want to close on June 29th. So that's not acceptable?
That gives me April, May, and June mortgages that I have to pay.
I see.
That means another $10,800 in mortgage payments. But after all they've been through, Margie takes a moment to consider the stakes and where they'll be if they refuse.
I went to the kitchen and back and I thought about it.
Okay. She's a decision maker.
We can make a plan
Let's do
with
it.
the mortgage.
We have a deal.
Good. Excellent.
Deal.
Before any celebrations can take place, the buyer hires an inspector who probes, taps, pokes, and peeks into every corner of the house.
Unfortunately, there wasn't much to pick at outside.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it's in good shape.
That's
That's
and I
fine.
think it's time to celebrate.
Wow, really?
That's something for us to a new life.
Do you know what this means now? We're actually homeless.
But not for long.
Thank you.
It was such a shock that in the first trip that we made, house hunting, we found this little piece of paradise.
Good news or bad news?
Good news.
Good news.
It's a well-designed house. I think you've made a great choice. Good
We
job.
have a new home. Yay.
Once again, Bob and Margie embark on a new adventure. But there's a difference this time.
It's unusual to do something just for the two of us. It
Well-
really is. It is.
Well,
But I'm excited. It's
Yeah.
just a change, and I think it's sort of real now.
I should join Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, what a terrible paint job, too. I don't mean to insult the homeowners, but wow.
Oh, interesting. That's been missing since Tessa had that hobby here.
Broken and then repaired and then hidden.